Hi everyone, this is Alan Shimel, DevOps.com and DevOps TV here at IBM Interconnect 2017, and I'm joined by Chuck Howard of Texas Farm Bureau of Insurance. Chuck, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, Alan.
So Chuck and I had a very animated discussion off camera, which we're not going to share everything with you, but Chuck and his team over at Texas Farm Bureau of Insurance have been on a DevOps transformation journey that really has its roots back in 2005 or so, before there was a DevOps, right?
Yeah.
Chuck, you told me you guys had adopted we don't have to name names here, but adopted a way of doing things that by the time 2013 or so rolled around, it had just about run its course.
Yes.
And you guys said, hey, we've got to do something different here.
That's right, Alan.
And share with us if you can. Where did you guys go from there?
Well, as you mentioned, in 2005, we'd really been on this mission to transform our development, and that went pretty well. We, the business was on board to take over some of our testing. We'd been a very old legacy shop that we did all the testing and gave it to the business for approval. They brought up their testing and started doing this. But in and around 2013, as you mentioned, our development started slowing. We started doing some infighting with the business on, the test cases don't match, our quality's not as good as it should be and everything. And we realized that we were pulling away from each other. And so what we did in 2013-14, we added quality back in the mix. We went down an infrastructure path, and we really started pursuing an agile and DevOps track. And we wanted to march down the field together with our business and be open and transparent. And at that point in time, we had a lot of territorial type things, and all that went away, and it became a path where everything was transparent. And it just improved our relationship with the business and allowed us to move forward.
So, Chuck, you mentioned something in our off-camera discussion, which was that it turned out a lot of the leaders of the organization were themselves from the development side of the house. So initially that caused a lot of friction.
Yep.
And but ultimately, as you guys went down an agile Scrum sort of route for the dev side anyway, it kind of helped that the transparency that it brought to the equation really kind of helped bring some much needed relief.
Absolutely. And a lot of these people, as you mentioned, a lot of our BAs and testers had grown up in the IT world, so they were familiar with things like ITIL and things like that, and very prescriptive type things. And in DevOps, we took from the standpoint of let's be transparent, let's be open, let's meet needs, let's meet priorities. And so it became a very different journey than we even anticipated.
Yeah. Well, those are the best ones, right? The way it's kind of an open-ended journey, and it's not the destination, it's the journey that counts.
Absolutely.
But Chuck, another thing we spoke about is, okay, so this agile Scrum thing was good for the developers, but you started to bring in the ops people who had sort of an idle philosophy and processes that they were working on, and you've now, as part of this DevOps story, you've brought them into this.
Yeah,
how did that go?
What we have done, we've started within our IT department, which our business unit that had been over testing and requirements is now part of our IT department. But we're working with the ops people on the network, the mainframe side, and we've started doing a weekly Scrum process, analyzing risks, talking about cross-team dependencies, doing that whole stand-up process that makes that more open and transparent. And it's caused us to stay on focus with priorities. It's allowed teams to work together because we put rules into it. You can't call another team your impediment. You go down the path and you say, this is what we need from another team, and then we're able to assess right now whether that's the highest priority or we have other ones we should be working on.
Yep. Excellent. Now, Chuck, without measuring, someone once told me in our business, we measure everything. Everything could be measurable, and we measure everything. and we measure our success.
Mm-hmm.
How are you measuring the success of this DevOps journey or transformation at your organization?
Well, we measure it a couple of ways. One is our ability to get code to production. Um, but obviously, the biggest value for us is, and when we started this transformation, we decided that in development we had the wrong focus, and the wrong focus was it's not about what we want; it's about what the business needs to run. So we put that focus there by focusing on business priority, by getting code to production faster, by less defects in production, which we've seen all those measures improve. That's our measurement. Now,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there's interim measures that we sometimes find, oh, I shouldn't be measuring that. That
Yeah.
creates wrong results. But that's the constant goal. And right now we're focused on a test-driven development strategy that should drive even more quality into this.
Chuck, one more question. Oftentimes, these transformations don't happen without some sort of executive leadership. And you had mentioned that, a lot of the friction that you had been rubbing up against has dissipated a bit because now there's a common leadership here that's kind of bringing that together. Can you share, without naming names, obviously, share a little bit if you can?
We had a time that we brought in consultants to study our dysfunction, and our CEO made a rather bold decision at this point in time. He set up a group specifically to interface between IT and the business. And that group was supposed to manage priorities, supposed to do requirements, supposed to facilitate testing. And I will tell you, Alan, it's worked. I mean, that's helped drive this, because as that group looked at both business focus and development and IT focus, we've come together.
Fantastic, man. That's a great story.
Yeah.
So, Chuck, I want to thank you for sharing with us on this, and we'd love to hear more about what you're doing and how this turns out. These kinds of transformations, look, they're not easy. If they were easy, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Well, I'm doing a session here at Interconnect. I did one last year about our journey, and it's generally well received. So
Absolutely, I can see why. Hey, man, thank you very much for
Thank you,
appearing.
Alan.
Hey, this is Alan Shimel, DevOps.com at Interconnect 2017. Thanks for listening, everyone.